You've probably heard car maintenance advice from mechanics friends, or even online experts from oil change intervals to engine treatments. The automotive world is packed with maintenance myths that drivers swear by and their cars suffer for it. In this video, we're busting 10 of the dumbest car maintenance myths stupid people believe one might be slowly destroying your engine every time you drive buckle up, because we're about to separate fact from fiction. Myth number 10. Premium gas is better for your car. Premium gas sounds like the right choice, doesn't it? Better fuel, better performance, longer engine life. At least that's what drivers assume when they're standing at the gas station. But here's the reality. If your car doesn't require premium fuel, you're literally burning money. Premium fuel has one advantage, a higher octane rating. Regular gas sits at 87 octane, while premium starts at 91 or 93. Higher octane prevents engine knock in high compression engines, but here's the thing. Most cars are designed to run perfectly on regular fuel. If your engine doesn't need the higher octane, it won't use it. Your car won't run better, it won't last longer, and you definitely won't get better. Fuel economy. Modern engines have knock sensors that adjust timing. Automatically, if your car is designed for regular fuel, it's optimized for regular fuel period pumping premium into. It doesn't give you any benefit whatsoever. Now check your owner's manual. If it says premium required, then yes, use premium fuel. But if it says premium recommended, or doesn't mention it at all, regular fuel is perfectly fine. The word recommended is just marketing. Speak it means your car will run fine on regular. Some luxury brands recommend premium to justify their premium price tags, but the engine will run just fine without it. So unless your manual specifically requires premium fuel, save your money, regular gas works perfectly, and your engine doesn't know the difference. Myth number 9. You must use dealer parts or your warranty is void. This myth scares car owners into overpaying for parts, and it's completely false. Dealerships love spreading this lie because it keeps customers coming back for overpriced parts and service. But here's what the law actually says. The Magnuson-Moss Warranty Act protects consumers from this exact scam. A car manufacturer cannot void your warranty simply because you used aftermarket parts or went to an independent mechanic. They can only deny a warranty claim if the aftermarket part directly caused the failure. For example, if you install cheap brake pads and they work fine, your engine warranty is still valid. If you use aftermarket oil filters and your transmission fails, the manufacturer still has to cover it under warranty. They can't blame an oil filter for a transmission problem. Now, if you install a sketchy aftermarket turbo and it blows up your engine, then yes, the manufacturer can deny that specific claim, but they can't void your entire warranty. They have to prove the aftermarket part. Cause the specific failure most dealers won't even try, because they know the law. Here's the reality. Many aftermarket parts are made by the same manufacturers that supply the dealers. The only difference is the logo on the box, and the price tag. Dealer parts often cost 2 or 3 times more than identical aftermarket parts. You're paying for the brand name, not better quality. Some aftermarket parts are even higher quality than OEM, especially performance brands that specialize in specific components. So use quality aftermarket parts from reputable brands. Keep your receipts and maintenance records, and don't let a dealer bully you with warranty threats. Your warranty is protected by federal law, not dealer policies. Myth number 8. Letting your car sit damages the battery more than driving it. You've probably heard someone say, don't start your car. If you're not driving it, you'll just drain the battery. This myth suggests that starting your car uses so much power that short trips or occasional starts hurt the battery more than helping. But that's not how modern charging systems work. Here's the reality. Yes, starting your engine does drain the battery briefly. The starter motor pulls a lot of current for a few seconds, but once the engine is running, the alternator immediately starts recharging the battery within a minute or two of running. The alternator has already replaced the power used to start the car. Modern alternators are highly efficient. They recharge batteries quickly, even at idle. The real battery killer isn't starting your car. It's letting it sit completely unused for weeks or months. Batteries naturally self-discharge over time, even when disconnected. If your car sits in the garage for a month without starting, the battery slowly loses its charge. Parasitic draws make it worse. Modern cars have computers, alarm systems, and modules that draw small amounts of power, even when the car is off over time. These tiny draws add up and drain the battery. Starting your car once a week actually helps the battery. It keeps the charge topped off and prevents deep discharge, which damages battery cells if you're going on vacation or storing your car for winter. Either disconnect the battery or use a battery tender. Don't just let it sit there dying slowly now. If you're only driving extremely short distances, like moving your car from the driveway to the street, the alternator might not fully recharge the battery. But we're talking 30-second trips, not normal driving. Any drive longer than 5 minutes gives the alternator plenty of time to recharge, so start your car regularly. Drive it occasionally, and your battery will stay healthy. Sitting unused is what kills batteries, not starting them. Myth number 7. You need to change your oil every 3,000 miles. This myth has been around forever, and it's one of the most profitable lies in the car maintenance world. The 3,000-mile oil change rule comes from decades ago when engine technology was primitive and oil quality was terrible. But that's no longer the case. Modern engines are built to much tighter tolerances, and today's synthetic oils last far longer than old conventional oils. Here's the truth: most modern cars can easily go 5,000 to 10,000 miles. Between oil changes, some manufacturers even recommend 15,000-mile intervals. Check your owner's manual. It's right there in black and white. The recommended interval is almost always longer than 3,000 miles. So why does this myth persist? Money-quick lube shops make their profit from frequent oil changes. They've trained generations of drivers to believe 3,000 miles is mandatory. It's not those little stickers they slap on your windshield are designed to get you back in the door, not to protect your engine now. If you're still driving an older car or using conventional oil, more frequent changes might make sense. But for most modern vehicles with synthetic oil, you're just wasting money following the 3,000-mile rule. Check your manual, follow the manufacturer's recommendations, and stop throwing money away on unnecessary oil changes. Your engine will be just fine. Myth number 6. You should warm up your engine before driving. This myth comes straight from the carburetor era, and it refuses to die. Older cars needed a few minutes to warm up before driving, especially in cold weather. The carburetor couldn't properly mix fuel and air when cold, so engines ran rough and could stall. But modern cars don't have carburetors. They have fuel injection systems automatically adjust the fuel mixture based on temperature. Your engine gets the perfect air-fuel ratio from the moment you turn the key, even in freezing weather. Here's what actually happens when you let your car idle to warm up. You're wasting fuel and wearing out your engine. Idling does warm up the engine, but very slowly. The engine warms up much faster when you're actually driving. That's because driving puts load on the engine, generating more heat, and getting everything up to operating temperature quicker. Sitting in your driveway for 10 minutes idling accomplishes very little, except burning gas. Now, does this mean you should start your car and immediately floor it? No, you should drive gently for the first few minutes until the engine reaches operating temperature. Avoid high RPMs and aggressive acceleration until everything warms up, but you don't need to sit there waiting. The best way to warm up a modern engine is to drive it. Modern oil flows instantly, even in cold weather. It protects your engine from the first second, so start your car, wait about 30 seconds for oil pressure to build, and then drive normally. Your engine will thank you, and you'll save time and fuel. Myth number 5. You need to replace your air filter with every oil change. Walk into any quick lube shop, and they'll try to sell you a new air filter. Every single visit, they'll pull out your current filter, show you some dirt on it, and act like your engine is choking to death. It's a classic upselling tactic, and millions of drivers fall for it. Here's the truth: air filters are designed to collect dirt. That's literally their job. A slightly dirty air filter is a working air filter. It doesn't need replacement just because it's not pristine white. Most air filters last 15,000 to 30,000 miles. Depending on driving conditions, if you drive on dusty roads or in heavy traffic, you might need more frequent replacements, but for normal driving conditions, once a year or every 15,000 miles is plenty. Replacing your air filter every 3,000 miles is complete overkill. You're spending money on parts you don't need. Now, a genuinely clogged air filter can reduce engine performance and fuel economy, but you'd have to really neglect it to reach that point. We're talking extremely dirty beyond normal use checking. Your air filter is easy. Pop open the air box and take a look. If you can still see light through the filter material, it's fine. If it's completely black and clogged, then yes, replace it. But don't let a shop pressure you into buying one. Every visit they make huge markups on air filters because they're easy to sell, and most customers don't question it. Check your owner's manual for the recommended replacement interval and stick to it. Your engine gets plenty of air and you keep more money in your pocket. Myth number 4, aftermarket parts are always cheap junk. This myth keeps drivers paying dealership prices for parts that are often identical to what you can buy elsewhere. The assumption is simple: dealer parts are quality, aftermarket parts are garbage, but reality is far more complicated. Here's what most people don't understand about the parts industry. Many aftermarket parts are made by the exact same companies that supply parts to car manufacturers. These are called OEM suppliers. They manufacture parts for the factory and then sell identical or nearly identical parts under their own brand names. The only difference is the packaging and the price. You can buy the same brake rotor from the dealer for $200 or from the aftermarket supplier for $80. It's the same part, same factory, same quality. Some aftermarket brands actually exceed OEM quality. Performance companies like Bilstein Brembo and Bosch specialize in specific components. Their aftermarket parts are often superior to what came on your car from the factory. Enthusiasts specifically seek out these brands because they're better than original equipment. Now, are there cheap junk aftermarket parts? Absolutely. The aftermarket has quality tiers from premium to budget basement. If you buy the cheapest possible brake pads from an unknown brand, you're asking for problems, but reputable aftermarket brands offer excellent quality at fair prices. The key is doing basic research, stick with known brands, check reviews, and avoid the absolute cheapest options. You don't need to pay dealer prices, but you shouldn't buy mystery parts from questionable sources either. Here's a good rule: if a parts brand has been around for decades and mechanics recognize the name, it's probably fine. Dealers want you to believe only their parts are safe, but that's just not true. Quality aftermarket parts save you money without sacrificing reliability or safety. Your car doesn't care if the part came from a dealer or a trusted aftermarket supplier. Myth number 3, flush your transmission fluid every 30,000 miles. Transmission flushes are one of the most controversial services in the car maintenance world. Some shops push them aggressively, claiming they'll extend your transmission's life. Others warn they can actually damage your transmission. So what's the truth for most modern cars? Transmission fluid doesn't need frequent flushing. Many transmissions are designed with fluid that lasts 60,000 to 100,000 miles, or even the lifetime of the vehicle. Check your owner's manual. Most manufacturers don't recommend flushing at 30,000 miles. That interval comes from transmission shops, not engineers. Here's where it gets tricky. If your transmission has been properly maintained with regular fluid changes following the manufacturer's schedule, then yes, occasional fluid changes are beneficial. But if you've neglected your transmission for 100,000 miles and suddenly decide to flush it, you might cause problems. Old dirty transmission fluid contains particles and debris that have settled in the system. A high-pressure flush can dislodge these particles and push them into sensitive valve bodies and solenoids. This can cause shifting problems or even transmission failure. The fluid wasn't the problem. The neglect was. Now some transmissions do benefit from fluid changes. Honda and some European brands recommend periodic changes, but most modern sealed transmissions don't need touching. If your transmission is shifting smoothly and the fluid looks clean, leave it alone. If you've maintained it properly and want to change the fluid, use a gentle drain and refill method. Not a high-pressure flush. The drain and refill method replaces about half the fluid without forcing contaminants through the system. Follow your manufacturer's recommendations, not what a shop with expensive flush equipment tells you. Most transmission problems come from neglect or abuse, not from skipping unnecessary flushes. Myth number 2, you need to change your coolant every year. Coolant flushes are another service that shops love to oversell. They'll tell you coolant breaks down, quickly gets dirty, and needs annual replacement. But modern coolant technology tells a very different story. Older cars used traditional green coolant that did need replacement every 2 to 3 years. The additives in old coolant broke down faster and couldn't protect the cooling system as effectively. But that's ancient history now. Most modern cars use long-life coolant that lasts 5 years or 100,000 to 150,000 miles. Some manufacturers like Mercedes and BMW use coolant rated for the lifetime of the vehicle. These extended life coolants use different additive packages that don't break down quickly. They maintain their protective properties for years. Here's what coolant actually does. It transfers, heat prevents freezing, protects against corrosion, and lubricates the water pump as long as the coolant maintains these properties. It's doing its job. Testing. Coolant is simple. You can check it with an inexpensive test strip that measures the freeze point and pH. If the coolant still protects to the rated temperature and the pH is in range, it's perfectly fine. Shops push annual coolant flushes because it's an easy upsell. They'll show you slightly discolored coolant and claim it's contaminated. But coolant doesn't need to look brand new to work properly. Slight discoloration is normal over time. Now, if your coolant is genuinely contaminated with rust oil or looks like chocolate milk, then yes, it needs immediate replacement. But that indicates a serious problem. Not normal aging for regular maintenance. Check your owner's manual. Most manufacturers recommend coolant replacement at 100,000 miles or more. Not every single year flushing perfectly good coolant wastes money and creates unnecessary waste. Don't fall for the annual flush scam. Follow your manufacturer's schedule and your cooling system will be fine. Myth number 1. Premium synthetic oil is overkill for normal cars. This myth costs drivers money in the long run by convincing them to stick with cheap conventional oil. The thinking goes like this: synthetic oil is expensive. It's only for high-performance cars. Regular oil worked fine for decades, so why spend extra? Well, here's why synthetic oil is one of the best investments you can make in your car. Conventional oil is refined from crude petroleum. It contains impurities and molecules of varying sizes. These inconsistencies mean conventional oil breaks down faster, especially under heat and stress. Synthetic oil is engineered at the molecular level. Every molecule is uniform and designed for maximum performance. It resists breakdown, handles extreme temperatures better, and keeps your engine cleaner. The difference isn't just on paper. Synthetic oil can last 2 to 3 times longer than conventional oil while protecting better the whole time. Yes, synthetic costs more up front, but you change it less often. Most synthetic oils are good for 7,500 to 10,000 miles or more. Conventional oil needs changing at 3,000 to 5,000 miles. When you factor in fewer oil changes, the cost difference shrinks dramatically. And here's the real benefit: synthetic oil prevents engine wear better than conventional oil. It keeps critical components cleaner, reduces sludge buildup, and maintains proper lubrication even in extreme conditions over the life of your car. This means fewer engine problems and longer engine life. Modern engines run hotter and tighter tolerances than older engines. They generate more heat and stress oil harder. Synthetic oil handles these conditions effortlessly. While conventional oil struggles, many new cars come from the factory with synthetic oil because manufacturers know it's superior. They're designing engines that need synthetic protection. If your manual specifies synthetic, don't cheap out and use conventional. You're risking your engine to save a few dollars, even if your car doesn't require synthetic switching to. It is smart, it's not overkill, it's proper protection for a major investment. Your engine works hard, give it the best oil available. Car maintenance myths might sound convincing, but believing them can cost you thousands in unnecessary repairs and wasted services. The automotive industry profits from driver ignorance. Shops, dealers, and quick lube chains push these myths because they make money from your confusion. Still, now you know better. Follow your owner's manual, not outdated advice. Use quality parts, whether OEM or aftermarket. And stop throwing money at services your car doesn't need. Modern cars are engineered better than ever. They don't need constant intervention or expensive miracle treatments. They require proper maintenance at the right intervals, nothing more, nothing less. If you enjoyed this, hit that subscribe button and check out the next video on how to spot when a mechanic is ripping you off.